field, blast off, watch them all fall. This is AFC North Talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Ay, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North Talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North Talk.
Yo. We finally got the new intro. Shout out to the Patreon supporters. We threw it out to the Patreon yesterday, I think. So new intro. Hopefully you like it, but I want to hear from you guys. Put it in the comment section below. We want to hear what you think of the new intro. Hopefully not copyrighted. We still get I already have been paying attention. Every day, like 2 or 3 emails of share revenue video. And like I think Q, by the way, Q's on his way. I just got a text. And Tony's not gonna be in today. He said that he couldn't make it. But I think either you or Q said that you two made the executive decision that we need a new intro.
Oh yeah, for sure. YouTube was the third. They were like, we need to jump in here, make sure we give these guys a nudge.
So we did a new intro. We took away highlights. We scraped a lot of the music. We have a new BPD or like a upbeat stuff at the beginning, and then we got a guy that did the song, the 30 clip song. So anyway, shout out to all of you. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for the Patreon supporters. If you want to support us and help us a little more, check out our Patreon page, the description or the link in the description below. And as you can see, the top tier Patreons on the scroll. Okay, so today we are not. Let me start with this. We're not doing record prediction. Okay, we're having our first reactions to the schedule, and with that, we are Q, how you doing, man?
How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
So we're just gonna do the reaction of the schedule, not necessarily record. We want to know what we think about the record. Next week we're gonna start with rankings. So the rankings are coming back. I know it's one of the shows that you guys want the most, and then you talk about it through the whole year. The whole year we talk about this ranking. So yeah, I hear it through the whole year. This is different how they're doing this. Okay, we have a super chat here, and then we're gonna go with the first one. I honestly believe that no reason a reasonable fan should think their team should lose less than 4 games. Anything lower to me is just blind fandom. I mean, we're all fans for a reason, right? I would say this.
Can I talk about like the ideal of, you got to be a reasonable fan? It's like, who gives a? You don't coach the team. You're not in the locker room. If you think your team is going to go 17-0, say it. I don't care. Nobody cares. Like the fans I detest the most are the ones like, we're going to go 8-8. You know, when they really don't think that, because then you go 8-8 and then you don't believe it. You mad at 8-8 when you predicted it in the first place. No, just say what you want. Just say what. It literally doesn't matter. If you say your team's going to go 17-0, yeah, are you going to look goofy if they don't go 17-0? You're also going to look goofy if you don't think your team's going to be good and they ain't good because you root for the team. Like, it don't matter. Everybody gets into this whole thing of like, what's a good fan do? Or like, it don't matter. Predict what you want. By the way, we got Spammer in the chat.
Do we?
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Okay. So I did wanted to ask before we throw to the record. Every team has this like the new video schedule, right? That's the new thing. I think 3 years ago is when I started seeing it. I'm gonna give you my rankings of that. I watched all 4 teams. By far. I think there's a by far winner, and then there's the 3. I have to give it to the Browns. The Browns did the best job throughout the 4. Not a WWE fan or whatever it's called, wrestling. I'm not a fan of that, but they did the best job. Shout out to them. And after that, and for me, there's also a clear number 4. And I want to hear what you guys think. It was the Steelers. The Steelers was a goofy SF.
I didn't watch any of these.
Oh, I watched it all.
I watched a couple, but no, I didn't actually watch any of the divisional ones.
Oh, I watched the division.
I just saw like a couple. I saw the Jags one where it was like the NFL is scripted. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Tennessee one. That one was pretty funny.
That was funny.
And then I saw the Panthers one where they had a cameo for the Bengals, even though we're not on their schedule. They had like a little fake Maury clip, so that was pretty funny.
The Chargers did the animated thing again.
I saw that one too. I did see that one because they put the Chiefs fan that's the bank robber in there a couple times. So I was like, yeah, I gotta check this out. They had him for both of the matchups. So that was funny.
Yeah. I like theirs. The Steelers one, and Steelers fan, I would like to hear from y'all. It's a black and white. It's corny, like, oh, this is how you do a video reveal, and what was one of the players? I can't remember. Not one of the top players, just a player. And at the end, they don't talk about the schedule at all. And at the end, they just showed like a little graphic of all the schedule. I didn't like it. And then the Bengals. So this is between the Bengals and the Ravens for me. Mm-hmm. The Ravens looks like a hype video, which is well made, but 0 points for storyline. Like they didn't. Yeah. They had Lamar with a bunch of like highlights and showing the video, which is cool as a hype video. But the whole point, I think, in the schedule reveals to do something creative. And the Bengals is, for me, they were trying to be creative, but they were so all over the place.
They started with like week 4. I'm like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
What is this? Is this did Quentin Tarantino direct this? Because this is all out of order. Like, what are we doing?
That's my problem with the Bengals. Like, I can kind of see the story that they wanted to create, but 4, then they jumped to week 17, and then like 2. And I was like, I'm lost. Yeah. Like, I'm legit lost. Anyway, that was my ranking of the AFC North schedule. Browns by far Q. I like what they did with the whole wrestling and the
only thing I saw was that like they had the Miz in there, and then they like the logo that they use looked like AEW's logo, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna throw off me.
Okay, so another super chat here real quick. Shout out to the schedule maker for the Bengals. 3 W in week 1, Browns 222-1 opening day. Hit that like for the boys. Okay. Charity, thank you for that donation. Okay, so let's start with the first schedule I have here, and it's the Bengals. Let's talk about this Bengals schedule. Ace, what do you like and hate from the schedule?
I mean, it's hard to hate anything. If I said to hate something, it would probably be the lack of. I thought that they would at least get 5 primetime games. That's kind of just, I don't know. I mean, that's nitpicking, honestly, because some people feel like the Kansas City game, and really it's just a Kansas City game. I would have, if I were a betting man, and it may be because CBS just wanted it and they plan on flexing it. I'm not believing that until I see it. But I would just think that would be, if I was making bets, that would have been one of the primetime games. Not like the Rams game. I wouldn't have thought that the Rams game would have been a Monday Night Football game at all. So the one thing that I do like about it, though, is opening up, and I feel like it's interesting. It's a good challenge for the team early, opening up against 2 divisional opponents, because if you win those, it's almost like a full game lead over the division if you get those. So I would probably say that's going to make it interesting. The Browns are a team that's had your number in the past, and you're getting them week 1. So, if you want to try to push away that narrative, there's your chance. And then here come the Ravens right after it, back to back, right? So then you're getting Lamar Jackson back. And so in my opinion, those may be the top 2 teams in the North that you're going against as far as a foe. Nothing against the Steelers. I still think the Steelers will be pretty good as well. But obviously these 2 teams have the better quarterbacks when it comes to that. And then you get into the Rams, which – honestly, that seems like a little bit of an easier game. Then you get the Titans, which the Titans, Ryan Tannehill, I'm not even sure if he's still going to make the roster. I thought that he would be off of the roster this offseason. I don't know if he's going to be a training camp cut or not. So I don't know how to even really look at the Titans at this moment. They got a new offensive coordinator. Then you got Kyler Murray coming in.
No, Murray won't be.
So he's not going to be in it. So
week 8.
Okay, wow. So that's another real toss-up. To me, the hardest games that I see in the first stretch, Browns, Ravens, Seahawks. Those other ones, I'm not trying to just overlook them, but I'm just not I don't have too much of a reaction to those ones. Those feel like some softballs there. Then you go into the bye week. This is what I like about the schedule too. San Francisco has had our number. I know Quincy probably remembers when I did that season opener video and I ended up leaving the stadium against San Francisco back in 2019. I thought it was a good time.
Was that the half a rack?
Yes, they ruined it. I got up out of there. I didn't even stay until the end. So San Francisco is just a tough team, a tough matchup for us. But the last time we played them, we didn't have Joe Burrow. Would like to see how that would have played out because that's actually who I wanted to face in the Super Bowl to try to exercise some of those demons. We didn't get the chance. They're still a good team. That's a good measuring stick. Then you got the Buffalo Bills. That's going to be another tough matchup. But overall, the schedule is what it is. I think we're the least traveling team in the NFL. I don't know if that gives you an advantage or disadvantage or whatever it is. But the schedule is what it is. But I think that it is a challenging schedule. It's not like a cupcake schedule. I feel like after week 2, once you get past week 2, when you get to week 3, then you get some little cupcakes there, and then it kind of gets back into a competitive schedule. You end the year with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how I feel about it being so late because we've played them in week 17 before. Obviously, you're going to get the Browns there at the end. You always get that divisional game there at the end. But the Kansas City game, I don't know. It just seems like I would have rather had played Kansas City a little bit earlier in the season just from a competition standpoint because I feel like you're going to get the same game plan when you have to play them possibly a month later in the playoffs. So I would have liked to have played them a little bit earlier. Who knows? That division, I hope it's better this season. But, they're banking on it being something on the line at that point. And I don't know if it's really going to be like that. I haven't looked at the Chiefs schedule, but from what I heard, it's not a super daunting schedule. So hopefully that game still lives up to the hype as well.
Q, you have any comments on the Bengals schedule?
I hate how they formatted it. Why did they do 2 columns and not go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Why they go 1, 2? I hate how they formatted it. But obviously it's interesting because it seems like they do this a lot where we play the Bengals in the first 3 weeks of the year and then we don't play them again until the end of the year. Hasn't that seemed like that's happened the last 5 years?
It has, Q.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
So I guess they're slotting in the Bengals and we always either play the Bengals or Steelers the last week of the season. It's interesting, right, that the Bengals have an early bye. The Browns, I think, probably have the earliest bye of all the teams here. 2 division games in the bye before the bye, and then you have the 3 NFC games. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all that shakes out. But other than that, obviously people are going to talk about the Chiefs game. That's going to be a big one for them, and then the Buffalo Bills game in Week 9. That's going to be another interesting one. Yeah, I think the AFC South is going to be interesting too, because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't think we should write off the Texans.
Yeah.
I don't think the Texans should be written off, especially in that division where there's no real front runner. You got the Titans, who I think they're going to switch quarterbacks late. I think the better time to play the Titans is probably later rather than later rather than early. I think they're going to decide that they want to put Will Levis in there, and when Will Levis is in there, I think it's time to it's going to be Christmas once they put that in there. But I do think CJ Stroud, once he gets, I think he could have a similar strong end to the season that Deshaun Watson had at the end of his rookie year. I wouldn't be surprised there. I don't really believe in the Jaguars. There's something about them that I just don't trust. And maybe it's that they're the Jaguars, but I don't trust them. We're putting a lot of it seems like with Trevor Lawrence. We've been sitting here for 2 years waiting for when's Trevor Lawrence going to look like Trevor Lawrence? And then he showed you a little bit of it and everybody's been oh, is Trevor Lawrence up there with Joe Burrow? And it's it seems too much too quick. And we don't even know if he's good. He's kind of in the same category of stasis as Tua to me, where it's I don't know about him. I think a lot of people want him to be really good, but is he?
Yeah.
The one game we talk about him in the playoffs, how many interceptions did he throw in the first half? He got him out of a hole that he created. I don't know. I'm just not sold on the whole Trevor Lawrence experience. I think Doug Peterson's a great coach, but I think there's a lot to be desired. I think the AFC South's wide open. wouldn't be surprised. The Texans are a team I don't want to play late, and I think the Browns and the Bengals both play them late. But yeah, it's to be interesting. The Colts, like, what's Anthony Richardson going to be looking like at that point in Week 14? Because Anthony Richardson is playing.
He's definitely going to be playing.
So, like, yeah. So I think the schedule. Look, we did a lot of talk about how tough the AFC is, and it's the toughest conference. But then you look at the schedule, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see the Bengals winning 11 games here, like we did last year, or 12 games here, like you did last year. So it's just funny how it shakes out, where we always panic about how tough the AFC is, but then we realize we don't got to play all them teams.
So this is what I would say. The first third of the schedule is you have the Ravens, you have the Browns, but other than that, Q says he doesn't believe in the Jaguars. That's where I am with the Seahawks, right? I want to know if Geno.
I'm on that train too. Like,
like, did Geno have a one good year, or is he gonna continue? Right? Is he coming back? Because if Geno comes back to the Geno he wasn't like he was terrible. He wasn't what he was last year, right? Yeah. And so if Geno comes down to earth a little bit, then you have you start two strong games, and then the next 4 before they bye are on the easier side, not easy, but easier side. And if you're gonna take the Niners, there's no better way to take it than after a bye, right? Because the Niners are a tough team, physical team. We don't know who the quarterback is, but they're gonna bring it, right? That's a game that you leave with bruises. And I think a hard position wise in the schedule is where that Bills game is, right? Because it's after the Niners game. Other than that, the Steelers game after the Ravens game also kind of tough. And then the last 4 games, same thing with the Vikings. I don't know what they're going to be, but finishing with the Steelers, Chiefs, and Brown, that is also what
do you, real quick, how do y'all feel about the Seahawks with them having JSN now? JSN with the other 2 receivers over there.
Geno has the weapons, right? Because they also have Noah Fant that's a tight end. There's no excuses that he doesn't have weapons. He has a good running game too. Overall, the team is set with the weapons that Geno has or needs to be.
The surrounding team is pretty nasty. I mean, Devon Witherspoon too over there.
Yeah.
They got some talent. Like you said, though, if Geno isn't there, then that's going to throw them off for sure. But I like what they're putting together from a roster building standpoint. It's a pretty nice roster.
If Geno is like he played last year, then they're going to be a good team. Then they're going to be a hard team to beat. And this game is at home, so that's the good side too of the Seattle game, right? Yeah. Seattle cross country. That's the better side.
Oh, some more spam in the chat. I'm gonna take care of it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next schedule we have here is the Browns. All right, that's the Browns schedule. Yeah.
Can you make that a little bit bigger? Is it possible? There we go. Oh.
It resizes. Hold on.
It resizes on its own. I know what you mean. All right, yeah, let's start. We could start there.
There it is. That's better. Okay.
Damn, the Browns and the Bengals, we got the same damn schedule there.
Oh, no.
2 weeks.
They go down. They go down.
Oh, okay. It threw me off. Okay.
They're going down.
Yeah, we did it in the right order. You learn to read. Well, I mean, left to right, I guess, but I don't know. It should probably be 2 wider columns than this.
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, we get Q. Well, I'm gonna throw it to you, Q. What do you think of the schedule?
A lot of people are complaining about the schedule in Cleveland. I think it's a fortunate layout of the schedule. You get a whole month at home here. Mm-hmm. You get your bye week in there. And look, the bye week, I feel like we think it's this magical pill that's going to fix your injury problems in the middle of the season. And that's how we tend to use it. It's not. If somebody's seriously injured, they're not just out for a week or 2 or 2 weeks. They're usually out for 4 to 6 weeks, or they can play. So yeah, the early bye, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but what you do get to know at that bye week is you want to be able to be test sufficiently, and you play all of your AFC North opponents at least once, and you get 2 of your home games here. The one road game you have is against the Steelers, and Steelers might be, one of the teams that aren't the most impressive roster wise in the AFC North. and you get to test your run defense. So by the time you get to that bye week, if you need to make adjustments can be made. Now, again, we play the San Francisco 49ers after our bye. I bet their fans are thrilled about almost all of their AFC North opponents having a bye week before them. And then the Colts in week 7, and the Seahawks here. And I think what's important for this team is that there is room for error with this schedule. Like, you have to start out strong. But once you get past week 11, and let's say you get past week 11 and you have a strong record, you're set. I mean, you're pretty much set, right? Because you can go, if you go 4-0 in that first stretch there, I mean, that's a 3-0 division record. Guarantees you that you won't go under 500 in the division. Let's say they go 5 and what? It's 8 games there. Let's say you go 5-3 in that stretch, and then you win the next 2 in week 10 and 11. You're sitting there at what, 7-3. You just have to win 3 of these next games, and some of these games really aren't going to count that much towards your tiebreakers. So I think you'll be in a good position there. From week 12, you're playing Denver, you're playing LA. It's at LA. It's going to be difficult because of the travel. But you should be able to beat them. We'll see what the Jaguars are in week 14. We'll see what the Bears are in week 15, and we'll see what the Texans are in week 16. And I think, interestingly enough, getting that Thursday night game against the Jets and then getting the extra days projectedly, right? Like, we don't know when that game is going to be played, but if you do get the mini bye that you usually get, unless they, for whatever reason, schedule this game on the Thursday before, for whatever reason, then you will either get extended week into your last game of the year versus the Bengals, which could be for the division, or you get, let's say they have you play on a Thursday, but then you get the extended rest into the playoffs. If you make the playoffs, that'd be a huge benefit. So, I think people are going to look at this and think that the schedule is screwing them over. Everybody thinks that their schedule is screwing them over. But I think this is a fine schedule. You're not playing you don't have Mahomes on here. You don't have Josh Allen on here. The Bengals have to deal with that, right? I believe the Ravens are the ones that have to play Justin Herbert because he finished second in his division, right? So you don't have to play all of those other quarterbacks that everybody's talking about. And the one that you have to play is Aaron Rodgers. And let's be frank here, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to be in age 40 on a new team. I know it worked out for Tom, but Tom's not the standard, right? Tom is Tom. So we'll see what happens with A-Rod there in New York. We'll see what kind of team he pulls out there. But I think this is a fine schedule. Look, the schedule ain't going to be the reason this team don't make the playoffs. It's going to be other reasons this team don't make the playoffs if that happens. Or if they do, it ain't going to be because the schedule was easy.
Yeah, I will say this. The schedule, in my opinion, is well distributed. Now, it helps having that third place, right? Like you were saying, Q. You have to face the Broncos, which might be better. We'll see. Than they were before. And then you get the Jets. But that Jets game, if you look at it, I agree with you. That mini bye that you get before the Bengals, and the Bengals that week, it's not like they're playing a cupcake. They're playing the Chiefs, right? So they're playing the Chiefs. Y'all playing on a Thursday night against the Jets, even if the Jets are a great team, right? Let's assume the Jets are a top tier team. Well, so it will be Kansas City, but you have that mini bye going to Kansas City. Going to Cincinnati. Having that month at home works, and usually when you have a month at home, usually you have to go a month on the road, and that doesn't happen, right? The most you go is 2 weeks. So I think the schedule, I think of all the schedules, this is one of the better ones, of the ones I've seen at least. What do you think, Ace?
It's funny because I'm looking at this schedule, and it feels like they took what was at the beginning of the Browns schedule, like weeks 1 through 6 or whatever, and swapped it and did a pace tier weeks 12 through like 6.
Oh, from last year.
From last year. So I like it better for them this way. And I think that it is pretty balanced for them. They're going to give Deshaun a chance to do some things early on against some legit opponents. And then once he gets into that backstretch, like Quincy is saying, week 11 through week 16, I mean, obviously week 11 is a division game, but if they can get past that, they have a run that they could go on. I'm seeing it right now just with those teams where they could make a run late in the season. But then it does, like you said, Sonny, it does tighten up for the Bengals and the Browns week 17, week 18. So I think that it's a good start for the season. You get both teams getting the AFC North test early. So maybe it's not the advantage that I was thinking, because if the other teams in the division also play each other, then whoever comes out on top, it's probably going to be a tight race, especially if two teams go 1-1 and stuff like that. So I think that's good for them. And then the bye week before the 49ers, like Quincy is saying, I agree. That's funny that all of the AFC North teams apparently have a bye week before they play the Niners. So I think it's good. It'll be interesting to see if Kyler Murray plays at week 9, if Sonny's saying, he's out until week 8. So I'll be interested to see if Kyler plays there. Honestly, I think it's kind of up in the air with Kyler Murray with the Cardinals in general. This might be a pivotal season for him, or they could be moving on if it doesn't work out, especially with that new GM there.
They'd be like, welcome back, Kyler. All right, Miles is coming after you. Like, what you gonna do about that?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if there's stink. If he just takes the year off, they trade him because of the 2 quarterbacks coming out. And remember, they have capital too. They have multiple first-round picks.
What are they
next
throwing
year
out there while he's injured?
I don't even know who the backup is. I have no idea because McSorley's not there anymore. That used to be the backup.
Oh, God, it couldn't have been McSorley.
McCoy?
They got to tank at this point. If they get to that and they suck, they just might as well tank.
Yeah.
There's no way they're throwing out Colt McCoy out there for 8 weeks, man. There's just no shot. There's no shot that's what they're doing. Is Kyler, I guess it's Colt. They drafted Clayton Tune. They got Jeff Driscoll. They ain't got They might tell him to take a David Robinson year. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, Tim Duncan coming out, brother. Like, how would you like to go play in Miami?
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Kyler gets traded
Colt
next year.
McCoy, Clayton Tune, and Jeff Driscoll. Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
That's gonna be nasty.
You talk about a team that should have went after Jacoby Brissett.
But that's my point, Q. I think they're deliberately tanking and saying we're gonna trade Kyler. This was a mistake. Trade Kyler because of the 2 quarterbacks that are coming out.
Wait. Did Colt McCoy retire?
No.
Nope.
I thought
he's still there.
No, he's still
there. Got him on the depth chart.
He's still there. Yeah. Oh God, Colt McCoy.
But I mean, honestly, we saw that last year with that they weren't good with Colt McCoy. So that's nasty.
Nobody's been good with Colt McCoy.
I'm surprised how long has Colt stayed in the league.
Career backup, man.
You know what I
mean? Josh McCown Jr.
Future coach. You know what I mean?
Think of it as Super Chat Jacob. Is Geno the best Big 12 QB that's not Pat Mahomes?
Geno? I don't know who's on from
the 12.
Ryan Tannehill was better than Geno.
I don't watch college.
Ryan Tannehill's body of work's been better than Geno. Ryan Tannehill was at Texas A&M when they were in the Big 12. Let's see. Oklahoma, no Sam Bradford, no Baker Mayfield. You could make the argument that Baker Mayfield's similar to him because they both had 1 year of success. And Baker Mayfield didn't win the playoff game in that 1 year of success. So you can make the argument for Baker Mayfield there if you really wanted to. Texas, you can make the argument for Vince Young, 1 year of success.
Oh, that's true. He had the 1 good year.
Yeah. Well, he had like one and a half.
Zach Taylor, Big 12 quarterback.
Oh, yeah. The Nebraska Cornhusker legend. Yes, Zach Taylor. Is there any other schools that produced quarterbacks at that time? Missouri really wasn't.
Apparently, they produced Cordell Stewart from Colorado.
Looking at an article. A lot of buffs. Were they in the Big 12 before they were in the Pac-12?
See, so this is what they put as the honorable mentions. This is from
Jalen Hurts is Big 12.
Josh Freeman, Ryan Tannehill, RG3,
Kyler Murray is Big 12.
Cordell
Stewart. He's not clearing any of those guys.
I don't know any. These other guys are too old for me to.
Wait.
Troy Aikman was at Oklahoma.
But he went to Cal. He graduated from Cal, right? Or UCLA.
Yeah.
Pac-12. So he.
Well, RG3 had the 1 good year as well, and then.
Yeah, he doesn't clear RG3's 1 good year. He doesn't clear RG3's 1.5 good years. He doesn't clear yet Kyler Murray, and he doesn't clear Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he's only had one good year. I mean,
yeah. That's the question, right? And I will go back and say, he has everything there to succeed. Right? Like he has weapons.
And he doesn't clear Ryan Tannehill.
Someone saying that he didn't play at West Virginia when they were in the Big 12. I think they were
he played in the Big East.
Yeah, he played in the Big East.
Yeah, so we got compared to Miami quarterbacks. And
Jalen Hurts is the Big 12 because he had that one. Remember that last year in Oklahoma?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that you could probably name over Geno.
Okay.
Oklahoma ain't nothing without transfers at quarterback. I'm just saying.
Well,
the second their quarterback transfers out,
Williams was original from Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then he left.
Yeah,
he learned it from Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like they did it to themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so Ravens schedule here. There's things I like of the schedule and things I don't. Right. We start with the Texans. We'll see. We get the rookie right away. Bengals week 2. So by the way, Ace, this one goes this way. Goes to the left, to the right, like yours. And then we get the Colts and the Browns, right? So I feel like that we get the 2 of the South there and to the division. That's going to be interesting. Now, the thing is, our division opponents are away. More than that, you know how cute you were saying that you had a month at home. We basically, we get these 3 games on the road right away, including the London game. And after the London game, we get the Lions, which last year they were an up-and-coming team. We'll see this year.
All right. I'm going to be a Lions hater now.
I'm tired of it.
Too many people out here talking about, I was just like, yo, the Lions week 1. Everybody, you're sleeping on the Lions? The Lions are going to be great. Maybe. I don't know.
Sleeping on Jared Goff.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
I think they're going to be good. I think they're a good team overall. I think
for them to get the Kansas City Chiefs week 1 though, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
I don't understand.
Why the Chiefs for that?
The NFL effed that up because the Chiefs.
I hope my wife can't hear me because she's from Detroit. But
they could have gotten. Detroit's gonna do what Detroit does.
That's exactly what my wife said.
They're not going past the first round.
That's exactly what my wife said. So the first thing I did was ask her. Now, mind you, my wife doesn't watch football like that. She keeps up with some of the Bengals stuff, not really. She pretty much is a Detroit Lions fan only because she's from Detroit. She doesn't keep up with the team at all. And I was like, hey, they gave y'all the first game. Don't you feel good about that? She said, what, the Chiefs? Nah, they're going to beat us. That was the first thing that she said.
On ring night?
I don't know why I would be happy for that.
On ring night? You know what I mean? I don't care how many ankles Dan Campbell tell them to bite, dog. They're going to be out there. They're going to be out there jumping, over them ankle bites.
Right, for sure. I'm like, Pat Mahomes, didn't this man throw 5 touchdowns in the opener last year?
They're like, it's going to be a good game. Trust me. Or they're like, hey, remember that game when he was on the Rams and he played against the Chiefs? And I'm like, yeah, but that ain't the same Jared Goff. That's not
McVay ain't there.
Yeah. McVay ain't walking through that door. What are you talking about?
He played decent last year. But we'll see with the Lions.
He's Jared Goff. He's good when you don't pay attention to him.
Fair. Expectations will be there. But anyway, so going back to the schedule, so people were asking me when this game came out, Sonny, are you going to the London game? No, because this year's the year that I'm coming back, and this is the year the Ravens come to London. So no, I'm not coming back to London.
Yeah, Harbaugh heard your AWS jokes and decided to go with this course of action. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, poor Sonny. I was like, they're going over there when
everything's going to the UK the second he leaves.
Yes, I got so many messages oh, they're coming and you're leaving.
They played at Wembley too.
Yeah. Anyway, the other thing is our bye week is late, week 13, very late. Overall, the schedule, I think fatigue, we'll see how we do after the 3 road games and the Lions game, right? It's balanced, right? You don't have 5 teams in a row. They're gauntlet, right? The last 4 teams are Steelers didn't make the playoff. They were almost a playoff team last year. And then you get the Jaguars and the Niners. You get them away, right? And then you get the Dolphins at home. So these 3 and the Steelers, that's a tough last 4 games to go. You should be a little bit rested coming out of that bye. But again, it's 12 games, a lot of road games before the bye week. So I would have liked the London game to be later. Like if you said like what would you say? I would have liked this London game to be later and then get a bye, not to have the London game in week 6 and then go Lions
Yeah, that's
after that.
crazy. That's kind of crazy, bro.
So yeah, because after the London game, if you see we go, it is at home, but still you get all these games before the bye.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. The
If you play the
Dolphins,
Jags in
but you get to
London, is that
choose
like
who
a
your
home
opponent
game
is
for
when
the
you.
Jags since they play over there all the time? Is that like a home game for the Jaguars since they're always over there?
Jaguars have 2 London games this year, but we play the
You know,
Titans.
they're staying. They're literally like staying the next week. They're not leaving. They're staying in London for 2 weeks. That's crazy.
I mean, that's their second home. Yeah, so Q. Yes, I did see that. If the Ravens chose the Lions, I'll be surprised. I
I
would have
guess they don't
preferred
believe in those scrappy Lions like the rest of the
maybe,
internet does. But
maybe. I guess the question, like, let's say they were thinking, okay, we need a home game, right? And you can pick. I guess the LA Rams would have been the home game that I pick, right? Because they wouldn't want to go away from London, going away to somewhere else. You don't want to do that. You want to go back home. If you're not gonna take a bye, at least go back home.
Mhm.
And the easiest game that you have left at home is either the Rams, but not the Bengals. Not you don't want to play Bengals, Browns, or Steelers after coming from after coming from that long trip. Seattle, like I said, on paper they look tough, so you don't want to play them either. So I guess it's either the Lions and the Rams, and they went with the Lions. I actually think the Rams have a London game the following week, so they might have.
I don't think you could have picked them. I think you had to go. You had to go with the Lions here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have went with the Cardinals because you already gonna be jet lag. You might as well just double that one up. You know what I mean? Like it can't get much worse, right? Like
jet lag is no joke. Jet lag.
Double it up. Why are you going to give yourself jet lag? Recover from jet lag just so you can get more jet lag. You might as well just broke them both. You know what I mean? Like that's the part of the schedule. I'm like, yo, that doesn't make any sense at all. And then you got to go back to LA to play the Chargers.
Yeah, well, you don't get them right away. You come back home. It's just
Jet lag. Look, the Ravens are going to slump right here, week 6 to week 12. That's when they're going to hit their slump, and then they're going to come out the bye week, and then they're going to be like, oh, we're a new team.
I agree. I don't know about the slump, but I agree. From 6 to 12, that is a hard part because coming out of London, fatigue will set in some point, right? And not getting the bye. I think, and look, and the Ravens always ask for a late bye, but this wasn't the year to have a week 13 bye, not coming out of London. Like, if they couldn't do it week 7, either week 8 or week 9 would have been better, in my opinion. So, but overall, I think, the schedule, as some of y'all already said, we have 3 weeks on the road together. And then we got
that's the crazy part is that stretch 3 road games in a row, and then
Browns, Steelers, and London.
that's crazy. Browns, Steelers, and London. Then you come back and play the bye being week 13 is crazy.
I know.
I don't know who planned that. It's like there's all of this. They already did all of the traveling. Like I don't know where you wait until week 13 to throw that in there. Like, hey guys, let's give you a break. Yeah, you needed a break.
It's a lot of miles.
Before that.
Lot of
End of the schedule.
You know what they should have at least set up for them, like a Thursday game, that Steeler game being a Thursday night game, and then that way they can get the extra 10 days to go to London.
Yeah, because our Thursday. Look, we go.
The Thursday game is right before the LA game.
This is,
and that's in week 11. So you get your mini bye, and then you play a game, and then you
get the bye. Exactly, and then the mini bye is with the Brown. You have the Brown, which is going to be a tough game, and then you
might as well have taken your Thursday night game in week 12.
That's crazy.
Might as well take a long bye, super bye. Anyway, we'll see. Any other thoughts you guys have on the Ravens schedule?
No, I think the end they got some formidable opponents, like you pointed out, Sonny. You got the Steelers at the end, which that's a big one because all I hear all day on Spaces is Steelers fans. Oh, Lamar's record against the Steelers. I'm willing to see how that works out this season. So That's going to be a big game. The Dolphins and Ravens have just been this weird kind of.
Yes.
It seems like y'all always play them. I don't know why.
Every year,
you guys always. It's like the Jags for us. It's like we always play them for some odd reason. But yeah, I think that the schedule seems like everybody's schedule. You're definitely going to get some tests, and I think that it looks good for the Ravens. It sucks in some parts, but I don't think it's not something that they can't overcome. But I think a lot of these teams that we've seen, at least through the first 3 schedules, looks like everybody's getting tested at some point in your schedule.
Let's go with the next schedule, which is the Steelers.
They better not have the easiest one. They better not. Let's see this.
Before I go here, we have a super chat, and also let me adjust this graph because you can barely see it. Okay. Much love. Thank you, man. Don F. Much love, fellas. Thanks for the weekly North Hangout. Please don't let Tony gamble away my donut. Look, Tony
if he catches the replay, he's going to gamble.
It's already gone.
Like he's going to gamble 250.
Yeah.
Playoff season? Oh, yes.
He will gamble in the preseason.
It's not even playoffs. He's about to put a gamble down on the Hall of Fame game.
That's true. You'll be surprised.
Like, he's hitting a prop bet. I promise you. He's hitting a prop. You're going to be starting to ask me questions about Cedric Tillman. Like, you think
Tony's actually gone because he took the over on KD last night. So, hate to tell you guys, it didn't go well. Did not go well.
Damn, sad to see KD go out. Now let's watch the Warriors go out. Yes, I want the destruction of that 2017 team. Yes, everybody who was on it.
So,
Daniel Snap.
What's David West doing?
Parentheses here. Wait, who are you rooting for in the
Probably
NBA?
In the Big Three.
Who, me? I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm rooting for chaos at this point.
The Lakers, man. You know
I want the Knicks out because of what they did to my Cavs. I want Golden State out because they're Golden State. And I want KD out because, Lil Beef said it best. He got a song out there called F Kevin Durant, and that's my stance on Kevin Durant. Everybody else can win it. I'm fine. Jimmy want to win it. I'm cool with that. Jokic want to win it. I'm cool with that. Embiid, the Celtics. I don't like Boston fans. Actually, I'm rooting for the Celtics to fail too. So let's go Philly. You know what I mean?
I don't like neither fan base, neither the Sixers or the Boston. I'm going with.
They're too close to Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? They're too close to Pittsburgh. So screw them. But everybody else can win. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? LeBron, I'll be happy for LeBron get his 5th ring. Ace likes him. I know Laker fans, so yeah, I'm fine with that. Jokic, why not? Right? Like, I guess so people can stop complaining about him being in MVP conversations. And then who else is left? Embiid, that boy been suffering. That man has been in pain, dog. Like every year in Philadelphia, he's been in pain. It's to the point to where we're relying on James Harden to make clutch shots for him. It's crazy. And James Harden made some clutch shots.
Yeah.
Even crazier. It's insane, dog.
For sure.
He was frustrated.
Jimmy Buckets, I'm all for Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, that would be the biggest shock, right? Like if Miami wins, I'm pulling for them. Like if Miami wins, that would be because they barely made it, right?
Let me tell you, that's not a shock. I don't care if they're an 8 seed. There was no team I wanted to see less in the first round than the Miami Heat. Like that was one of them. Yeah, they're an 8 seed, guys. Let's get the 2.
Let's get the 2. I mean, they're a tough team, right? They're one of those scrappy teams.
The Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games.
Yeah,
in 5 games, and we thought Milwaukee was walking to the finals. Nah, dog. Nah. That's one of them years. Remember when LeBron was the 4 seed and the Raptors thought this was gonna be sweet? And then, that's what happened to
them. Okay, so we talking here now Steelers.
Okay.
The Steelers
they have the worst coordinator schedule because this looks so confusing.
It's the colors are just terrible.
So yellow is yellow at home and black is away?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So they go home. So they get the Niners, right? So you were talking out of a bye. The only team that doesn't get the Niners out of a bye is the Ravens. But in theory, the Steelers get them out of a bye because it's the first game. But it's at home. So San Francisco travels, which it doesn't matter for week 1. But they travel to the Steelers, and then they get Cleveland. So that's back-to-back tough opponents. They get in Vegas. None of us gets Vegas. That's their opponent from the West.
Is Tony going to that game?
Betting.
Definitely. Tony,
I'm pretty sure Tony
is taking the over under on his flight time.
Tony's going to that
What
game,
are you
bro.
talking about?
He's definitely at that game. Oh
It's
my
a
god.
Sunday.
Hey,
night.
over under 3.5 hours. He's taking prop bets about the flight to the game.
You see, this is the thing. The Steelers start with 2 primetime games out of the 3. There's a Monday night with Cleveland, and then it's a Sunday night for Vegas.
Oh wow. So 2
2 out of 3.
You find out if Kenny Pickett's Dookie or not. Then once they realize, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, let's get this off TV.
Then the next one is you get the
Prime Video, baby. Like that's the next time we get to see him in Prime Vision.
Oh my goodness.
They get Baltimore after, and then a bye,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get the Rams away. So they go but after the bye. Then they get Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Green Bay home games. They face Green Bay. None of us face Green Bay.
They got 2 Thursday night games.
The
That's
Browns.
possible
The
now.
Browns. Wait, no. I'm thinking of Rodgers. Damn.
Wait. You can get 2 Thursday night games.
Yes, that's a
Yeah,
change.
you
They
can.
changed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
they
is so
changed it.
stupid.
They changed it.
Oh, Tony's gonna be complaining about this for so
know.
long. Oh my god!
You
Both
know.
of them are at home. They get 2 home Thursday night games.
No,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but he will complain.
He's gonna complain like it hurts them. But this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They basically get 2 bye weeks.
Yes. Yeah, because think about this: early bye week on week 6. Then 3 weeks later, the mini bye here, right? After that, then they get Green Bay. It's not like Green Bay, but we'll see what Love is, right? But and then they get the Browns, and then on week 14, before the last stretch of the season,
It's nice to know that the NFL has a welfare safety net for some of its teams because they're clearly not going to let the Steelers fail. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Steelers, or can I call them Bank of America during the bailout in 2008 because the league won't let them fail.
Yes. Now they do. What Tony will tell you is they do finish with 2 games away. That's what Tony will tell you.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Seattle and Baltimore. Those are the last 2 away games.
Weeks 3, 4, 7, and 9. They were a little gracious to the Steelers on that one.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And the 2 opponents they have 3 opponents that none of us have. That will be Vegas, Green Bay, and I'm missing one. Oh, New England, right?
Yeah.
Yes, New England. And New England might be, when it's all said and done, that worst team in that division.
Man,
they might have the easiest
through
schedule.
15 is this looks like they like, all right, we know you got Kenny. We're gonna help you out a little bit, Tom.
We're gonna try our best to make sure you win these games. Let's give you 2 statistically probable wins at home on Thursday night. Let's do it. Roger Goodell, confirmed Steeler fan. I hate it.
It's funny enough, Q. I was thinking about you during the draft because I remember you said last year you said a comment like, "This is why I hate the Steelers because they're such an entitled fan base," something like that. They're an entitled team.
Oh, they're an entitled fan base that the second they don't get exactly what they want, they cry about it, even though it favors them. Like, oh no, we didn't get $1 million. We got $500,000. While everybody else got like $3. Like, yeah, this is the Steelers that we were talking about.
But they have 2 Thursday night games.
They got a bunch of back-to-back home games. Week 1 and 2, 5 and 6, 8 and 9, 13 and 14. I mean,
you know what the Steelers are? The Steelers are, what do you call like those kids of rich, those children of rich kids? What do you call them?
Trust fund babies?
Affluenza babies or trust fund babies. That's what the Steelers are. You know, they live it off the trust. That's what they live it off of. They don't do nothing spectacular with it. They just go like 8-8, 9-8 every once in a while, maybe even win 10 games. They haven't done anything serious, but they gonna keep getting propped up by all the advantages that they had early in their career. Shout out to the
that
Steelers.
nepotism going on, man. They got that
Hey,
nepotism.
Living off your parents' couch. That's how the Steelers be rocking it. You know what I mean? Can't go bankrupt if I don't have anything the bank can take.
Honestly, I feel like the hardest game is the home opener against San Francisco. Like opportunity-wise, the way it sets up and everything. Like, obviously, the division games are going to be hard as well.
So if Tomlin doesn't win 10 games with this schedule, he's a complete failure and should be fired and exposed.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't want to say it, but I felt the same way. Q, looking at this, they could win a lot of these games.
So Steelers fans, don't be celebrating here. Oh, Tomlin does it again. No, if he doesn't win 10 games, he's a failure and fraud.
Not only that, this is what trips me out. So they have 2 Thursday night games at home, right? But not even that. The week before that Thursday night is also at home, right? So they're home to a short week home, right? So both times they go to short weeks, but they're home. And then they go away here. They stay home here. So I think they did good to the schedule.
Wait, how many home games do people get? Because like
the Steelers had 9. The Steelers had 9.
I set a record.
Oh, okay, yeah, they got 9 too. Great. They got.
They have an extra home game.
I see 10, bro.
Home game too this year.
No, I'm counting the bye. I'm
counting
the bye. Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, we know how it is.
I think this year the Ravens and Steelers get 9 and y'all get 8, and then next year y'all get 9 and the Steelers and Ravens get 8.
The welfare queen of the NFL.
Oh man, I will hear from Tony because Tony hasn't been able to talk to us because he has some family business. I can't wait to hear from him. We might open next show with that. Like, Tony, quick summary. What do you think of your schedule? Because I think it would be entertainment when Tony tells us, well, we got 2 Thursday night games, and we're like, yeah, at home.
Can't you see this is a conspiracy? We have to play 2 games on a short week, as if statistically you don't have the advantage because that.
And not even that, they are home the week before. Anyway, Professor Chaos says Pittsburgh is too big to fail. Going with Q's theme. Anyway, guys, so this is what we're gonna happen next week. We're gonna start with the rankings. The ranking show. It's going to be the ranks, and then we'll take our break before the season starts. Football's right off the corner, but yes, the rankings are coming. I know. It's one of the shows.
What position we start with?
Probably quarterback. People always want the quarterback first. You're gonna hit it with the QBs.
That's gonna get contentious.
Oh, you know, Kenny Pickett and Tony. It's gonna be high up for him.
I can't wait to see where Tony has.
Oh my God,
this is gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be like, "Come on, Tony, come back to play the turf."
I'm just not gonna acknowledge any of Tony's rankings. He's proven to be a biased part of this community.
I want to see what he's gonna have, some crazy metric statistic that he's gonna come out that's gonna be like, okay, well, if I told you this, and then if I said the quarterback A did this, and then if it was Kenny Pickett, you wouldn't believe me. Like, he's gonna have some crazy.
I can't wait.
Just know when he gives you the setup, don't fall for it. It was like, all right, now I got 2 quarterbacks here. And it's like Kurt Warner from 1982. Like, nah, dog. I'm not falling for this. Like, I'm good.
So Kenny, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start with Tony. Tony will start with the first ranking. He's just gonna set it up beautifully. Anyway, guys, so that's what's gonna happen next week. On the comment section for this week, tell us, what do you think about this schedules? Tell us about the Steelers schedule. I want to hear your thoughts. But no, all 4 schedules. Also, let us know how the new intro hit you guys. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next week. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.